Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, UCM Pigs Motovlogs, and today we're obviously not motovlogging. However, I am going to do a vlog about motovlogging. So I guess you could say it is motovlogging because we're going to talk about motovlogging and more, exact, my motovlog setup. That I've been wanting to do for a while, just been looking for the right opportunity, and right now it's actually a pretty good opportunity. We're having some really crappy weather moving in overnight here in coastal Virginia. They're forecasting some significant snow, which we don't get a lot of, so they've already started prepping the roads. I was out earlier today on Noella May and they're starting to brine, so that's my sign. She just needs to be put away for a few days up on her tender, full tank of gas, and we'll let this pass. So I do get a couple days out of the year where it's just not safe to ride. So I figured a great opportunity to talk a little bit about some vlogging setup. So I wanted to show you guys mainly my helmet setup today. I've had some comments in the past on some of my videos about my audio, and people seem to think it's good. I think it's pretty decent, and it's a pretty simple setup. Could I improve? Absolutely. There are some fantastic products out there. If you've researched it, you watch other channels, I mean, you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on your vlogging setup. And when I started this, I wasn't sure where I was going to go with this, and I really didn't want to drop a huge investment in it. And now, things are starting to turn a little better. I'm sinking more money in it, but I still haven't really modified my vlog setup. The exception of I've added a newer GoPro to it, which was a gift given to me, and just kind of tweaked my audio a little bit. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is audio. So if this is your first time, I appreciate you stopping by and checking things out. If you're a return viewer, I appreciate you coming back. While you're here, hit that like button, and if you don't mind, if it hasn't already happened, go ahead and hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Typically I focus on motovlogs, and sometimes I do some stuff here in my garage, my little studio, and we just talk about some things that are motorcycle related. Today we're going to talk about audio setup. One thing that I've learned, I've been doing this just less than a year, coming up on my 1 year mark. And one thing that I get from a lot of content creators when it comes to feedback or tips is audio. Everyone always talks about make sure you have good audio. I mean, the video portion of it's important. The most important is your content, who you are, what you talk about, because I'll be honest with you, there's people I watch on YouTube that their audio is not that great, their video is not that great, but I like them. I like their content, I like their message, and I would watch them in a rainstorm with babies crying in the background because I just enjoy watching their content. But for me, and for the rest of us, we want to make sure we have some good audio. So I'm going to show you my setup. Alright, so first of all, we'll start with the helmet. I've talked about this helmet before. I absolutely love it, and it's a Built Well Gringo. I chose this helmet not really specifically for motovlogging when I bought it. It was kind of something that I started doing right about the time I got the helmet. It was more for the safety aspect. I wanted the chin bar. It was time to move out of the half shell. I still keep the half shell, but I was safety conscious. So after I got this helmet and then decided to start doing some motovlogging, I started working around this as my platform. So I have the mount here on the front, and most people have these little slip-on mounts for your GoPro. It's kind of offset because it puts my camera right here in the center of my chin bar, right below my field of view, which I don't want to keep my field of view obstructed, and that's very important. You see a lot of people with side mounts, you see a lot of people with top mounts. I'm fortunate I have a good field of view if I put it right down here on my chin. The next thing I'm going to talk about is what I like to refer to as my workhorse. Like I said, I have two cameras. The first one, which is my workhorse, is a Hero 3. Now, I've been using this Hero 3 pretty much since I started. I got it secondhand on Facebook Marketplace. I think I got this whole kit and caboodle, and it looks like it was probably a kit that was sold back when these were new. Got it from a guy that bought it. He didn't really use it. He threw it up on Marketplace. I got the whole shebang for like less than $100 to include a carrying case here. He has this nice camera bag, which actually fits all my camera gear now, and different accessories and waterproof cases and different things that comes with it, a remote. So it was a pretty complete package. I think it came with 2 batteries also, so I bought some extra batteries online. But I really like the Hero 3. It is not a 4K camera. It doesn't have stabilization, so it works well on a helmet. But it is a 1080p camera, which, realistically, most people watch these videos on their phone. So in my opinion, that is good enough. I might upgrade to a newer camera later on, but right now this is my workhorse, and I'm going to tell you why. So as I mentioned, the Hero 3, I think of it as my workhorse, and mainly because of the simplicity of it. Not a lot of stuff to break, not a lot of LED screens. I keep it in the waterproof case on my chin mount. Now I did have to make one modification with a Dremel tool so I can get my audio plug in there. It's not 100% waterproof, but it does the trick. I can wrap it in some electrical tape if I get some mist, and it'll help keep the moisture out. But a pretty simplistic setup. Doesn't require the brick for the audio, and we'll talk about the mic next. So the mic I use, and again, I stole this from another content creator. It is a simple Xbox mic. Now, this dead cat wasn't on there. It's just a regular, Xbox mic. If you got kids, or maybe you have one of your own, to me it's my kids, they wear these big old headphones when they're on the sticks and they're playing with their friends, and they have this little boom mic plugged into it, and I guess it's pretty common that it goes bad. So you can pick these up on Amazon. I'll put a link in here somewhere of the exact one that I picked up. It's less than 10 bucks, and it's just a little 2-ring mic. Now, it came with a little foam anti-wind thing on there, and I used that for a little while, but I still got a lot of wind noise. So I found this package of dead cats on Amazon. It came with like 5 of them, and it was $6, and I will probably, put these in my will, because I don't see myself going through 5 of them. I've been using this one now for several months, and that helps out significantly with the wind noise. But that's my external mic that I run into my helmet and tuck in my cheek pad. Now, from the external mic to the GoPro, it is an older GoPro. I don't know what this plug is called, but it's that kind of weird shaped plug that our old Android phones used to use. That's the audio input on the side of a Hero 3. I'll show you on the side of the camera. So on a Hero 3, you have an older HDMI and then this weird charging port plug that's the old Android style. So this plug here has the male old Android, and then a regular 2 or 3 ring audio jack, and I just plug it into the side, and then my mic will plug right into there, and then that's what I run inside the helmet next to my face. Now, I do wrap all this with a wrap of electrical tape just to keep moisture and stuff out when I'm riding, and then I'll zip tie it to the neck of my chin mount. Alright, so let's talk about the chin mount itself. So my chin mount is a little kit that I found on Amazon. It came in just a plastic bag, but it was just chock full of all these little attachments, and it's kind of like an erector set. I'm gonna date myself here, but it has all these little attachments here where you can adjust the length and the angle. It's all movable with a screwdriver and whatnot. Several screws came in the pack, so if you lose these, but you can get your adjustment and your fitting right on your helmet. The clip, to clip onto the mount that goes on your helmet. Now, one thing I will talk about that, the mount on the helmet, like I said, my position to mine there, this is applied with 3M tape, and it comes with several of these 3M tape pieces. Now, again, something else that I kind of stole from another content creator watching their videos, I doubled these up, so there's actually 2 in there. That gives me a little more support, a little more padding, but there's 2. I make sure you clean the helmet real well, apply one, I applied the other one on top, and then put the mount on the helmet. And then I grabbed my wife's hairdryer, made sure it was nice and warm, let it sit for several hours before I used it the first time. And it's been on there for several months, all types of weather, 0 problems with it. So my camera now will slide right into that mount, and then it's right there on the front of my helmet. So you can see there, that's basically the angle of my camera. It's still flexible enough, but not too loose where it rattles off, where if I need to make minor adjustments I can. And that way I've got my camera, and you can see here I have a clean field of view. I've actually gotten now, I've had somebody ask me, does this bother me? It's almost like the nose on your face. After a while you don't even see it. You don't see your nose, and it's right there. You get used to it there. I leave it on there a lot, and I tend to forget it's even there a lot of times. So that's how I'm pretty much set up on the front of my helmet. And we'll talk about this audio connection next. All right, so as I mentioned, I have these two cables, the one that connects to the camera and then connects to the actual mic. So makes the connection just like that. I'll usually put a turn of electrical tape on it, and then this one plugs right into the side of the camera. So like I said, I had to Dremel out a hole to make it just a little bit bigger, and this plugs right in there. Now it's always important to make sure that's in there nice and tight, because loose connections, you get the popping and stuff, and I'm ready to go. And then I'll go ahead and zip tie it about right there, and that way it's not flapping in the breeze. So now that we have the camera on, my mic placement's pretty simple. On my cheek pads are removable here, and right here in the front of this cheek pad right there, I can kind of pull it apart a little bit. So what I do is I just take the mic cable, that flexible cable, and I just kind of tuck it in there, and then that lets the mic kind of lay right there. It's not directly in front of my mouth, and I think that's pretty important. I've tried it right in front of my mouth. It's kind of off to the side. So my mic is actually resting right here on the side of my mouth. And what that does for me, it keeps the when I'm talking coming through on the mic. I've noticed that in some of my older videos, I can hear that puff of breath. And again, it's subtle, but it drives me up the wall. And it's just one of those little things. You know, you hear mouth breathers, you hear stuff like that. It's more off to my side, so it's not getting the direct breath. That mic is pretty strong, and it picks it up. The dead cat works wonders. I do have my face shields now that help out significantly. I don't think I'll use them all the time because I really don't think my wind noise is that bad even at 70. But that's pretty much my setup. It's pretty simple. I think everything all together minus the camera, I may have 20 bucks into this chin mount setup, including the cables. Very inexpensive. I know there's a lot of products out there. I'm not knocking those products, but I've yet to have any popping, static or anything using this inexpensive mic. So that's pretty much it for my helmet setup, and that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video. Maybe in future videos we'll go into more of my other setup, my other cameras. I have a Hero 5, like I said, that was gifted to me. That's my handlebar camera. I really like it because of the stabilization, so it stops that jitter. I may move up. I kind of want to take the Hero 5 and put it on my chin mount and see how it works. I've noticed a lot of people with the 5 and greater that requires the brick, they get a lot of popping when they use other mics. So I'm kind of curious if this Xbox mic is going to give me that popping noise using the brick with the Hero 5. So maybe one day we'll flip cameras and I'll go with the 5 on my chin so I can see how it works, how the audio sounds. So that's it. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the talking head. I've said that before, but I do know it is kind of one of those things when the weather's bad. I want to put out content. I want it to be quality content. This was a topic I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I noticed that most of my subscribers are content creators, and they're all kind of in the same boat I am. We're all starting out. So it's kind of like our class. I've kind of noticed that. You see people with 1,000, 2,000 subs. They have the people in their class that are at 1,000, 2,000 subs. When I say class, I'm not meaning like class of people, kind of like class in high school. So kind of my class, we're all figuring things out and trying to get our setup. So I wanted to share with you my setup and what works for me. I know some of you still use a Hero 3. I think it's a fantastic platform. I'm going to continue to use it. And with that said, I appreciate you stopping by. And until we talk again, you guys be careful. You guys be safe. Always keep your shiny side up.